Only show your best work. I'm sure most artists have heard this advice. But parks often have closures. Road trips often have setbacks. And no artist has a 100% success rate when they step up to the easel. And I have always felt that there is a lot of learning to be gained by seeing failures and learning from them. I would often tell my students that one's early entry into plein air painting is really just an attempt to move the success rate from one good painting in 10 to perhaps 2. A 20% success rate. I used this palette in a companion painting at Mother Neff State Park, and though the decision for the colors on my palette was already made, it was the least of my concerns. I struggled to find a vantage point that I liked, subject matter that I found engaging. In the end, I perched above the nearly dry falls and started mapping out the composition. It never felt quite right. The entire time I was painting, I was painfully aware that I was painting 2 giant, flat plains of rock. It was a fight to keep it from feeling too flat. I wasn't wowing myself. How could it hope to wow a viewer? But since every painting goes through an ugly stage, I stubbornly clung to the hope that pushing forward would allow the painting to correct itself. I zoned in on smaller details. I focused on different areas in the painting. But I neglected to check in with some of my physical needs. I think I was getting hungry, I definitely was getting hot, and I was letting all of the agitation get to me. So much so that I couldn't stand it anymore. I hated everything about the painting, and I decided to scrape it off. As the golden hour seemed imminent, I started looking around for other views that would be more interesting to develop a painting. And as I soaked in the river, it seemed like they were every direction that I turned. I had wasted too much time. I wouldn't be able to capitalize on these new, better views, and I missed the opportunity to sit in the river and paint today. Of course, I was frustrated. Well, that was Pedernales Falls State Park. I'm still Jay. One of my favorite episodes of television comes from the series Scrubs in an episode called My Hero. There's this great scene where the screen is split into 3 sections, showing characters all facing pivotal moments. And JD narrates the scene, describing some of the internal struggles that the characters are having. Maybe because you realize that you aren't as self-sufficient as you thought. Maybe because you know you should have handled something differently. Or maybe because you aren't as good as you thought you were. Either way, when you hit that low point, you have a choice. You can either wallow in self-pity, or you can suck it up. It's your call. Make the most of every opportunity, even if it doesn't turn out the way you would have liked, even if success is an elusive goal. Just remember to cherish even the mistakes, because the days are short and fleeting.